Alright guys, so today I was going to restore this little moving fillister. It is, I looked it up, TJ McMaster and Company, Auburn, New York. It was mid to late 1800s is when they were in business, so it's pretty old. But anyway, I was going to restore it today, and it's got a bunch of bolts that are adjustable. So like this bolt here for the depth stop, you probably can't see that very clearly. And then the two bolts on the bottom for the fence to be adjustable. These bolts have been adjusted so much and so carelessly that they are completely wore out and they're not really practical to use. The problem with that is you can't just buy these this style of bolt, or I haven't been able to find them. If you know where some are, if you know where to get them, I would love to hear from you. But let me see if I can get one of these out and show. Actually, I've got one here. I've got one here actually. This is what I'm talking about. It is a fillister head slotted lag bolt. I don't know how well this stupid camera's not gonna pick that up very well. But you can kind of see what it is. And I actually made this one. And that's what I'm gonna be doing today, is making, well, I'm not making the entire bolt, obviously. You're kind of limited on your options for replacing these. And I saw a video recently, I think it was on Wood and Shop YouTube channel maybe, and Bill Anderson was restoring, I think he was actually restoring a moving fillister. I'm not sure, I don't remember now, but he was saying when he replaces these bolts, which they almost always need to be replaced, he just makes them, and he doesn't show how he makes them, but what he did was explain kind of how he did it. And he said that he buys a regular hex head, just a regular lag bolt from the hardware store like this, and he grinds off the corners and makes it round and cuts a slot for a screwdriver slot with a hacksaw. And that is the only solution I've found for replacing these bolts. And so I made this one. I did mess up a little bit. The slot is just a little off-centered. I think because what I did was I ground it round first, and then I just kind of had to eyeball the center, and I ended up just being off a little. So this time, what I want to do is leave the edges on and use them as a guide for my hacksaw. And then once the slot is cut, then I'll grind off the edges. It does take a little while. I will be using, I don't have a grinder because I don't usually use electric tools at all for any reason. But I do have a screwdriver, or a drill, and that's what I'll be using to hold the screw while I spin it, while I turn it on a file. Now it's definitely not the most ideal way of doing this. If you have a grinder, just use a grinder. If you needed to make a ton of these, I would just go to a machine shop and have them see if they can make them for you. But just I only need two for the bottom. I've already got one done, and then one little one for this depth stop. So since I don't need many, I don't have any problem doing it myself. That's my plan for today. It's going to be a short video, just showing you the process of doing that. Again, Bill Anderson may have a video showing him doing it. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but he's the one I got this from. So yeah, that's what I'll be working on. I found too is that if you just use one blade on the hacksaw, the slit is just a little, it's too narrow for a normal size screwdriver. So what I've done is, or what I did on the last one was, I just added another blade to here. So I just, it'll hold two. I mean, obviously it's not made for that, but it will hold two, and it will widen that slot out enough to where it's actually usable. So now I've got two blades on here now. Also, most of these bolts say something on the top. This one says torque on the top of it. I want that gone. It's pretty hot. So before I mess with rounding off the edges, I'm just going to file that top piece off. All right, once you've removed the bulk of the waste with your file, then you can kind of see if you can see that at all. It's pretty rough looking, but you can come back in with some sandpaper and clean up all these rough edges. This is, I don't know, probably 150 grit maybe, 100 grit maybe. And then for the final polish, I'll use a leather strop. That's about it. My slot is off-centered again, just a bit. It's better than the first one, but that's something I'm gonna have to work on. I mean, it's still usable. I will use it on this tool, but let me see if I can get another. This is what it did look like to begin with, and here's the new version. There's the original. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's basically useless. I mean, it was hard to even get it out because everything's so rounded off. There's my first attempt. It's pretty terrible, but it'll work. This is where it started off at, and then this is the one I just did just now. It's still off, that slot is off-centered, which is, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I'm gonna have to figure out some way to get that better.